For 9,000 years, it was dead, a scar in the void. Then a routine survey jostled its orbit, and something began to stir. The survey crew saw it first, a flicker of amber light along a hull that shouldn't have power. Ice crystals vaporized as circuits that hadn't carried current in 9 millennia warmed. And then the dead ship moved, not drifting but turning, its course locked toward the Imperium's heart. The survey crew pulled back, their instruments screaming impossible readings. Section by section, amber lights awoke along the ribbed hull, like a creature opening its eyes. A Priority 1 transmission tore across the void. An unknown vessel was moving under its own power. The message reached Saelith High Command in minutes. A ghost from a forgotten war had stirred, and it was coming home. On the Throneworld Aethra, the message from deep space cut through the night, like a blade.
9,000 years dead. I want this verified again, now.
The survey ship's instruments confirmed the impossible. A cold engine firing, a trajectory locked on the Imperium's cradle.
Hail it. Demand its identity. No ancient relic threatens this world.
At a secondary console, junior analyst Lyra Voss found herself frozen, eyes fixed on the ship's image.
Why does this feel like remembering something I've never known?
If it doesn't answer, treat it as hostile. The humans tried to exterminate us once. I will not let them finish the job.
The hails went unanswered. The ship simply kept coming, its ancient lights pulsing in a pattern no one recognized.
Raise every planetary battery. I want that ghost tracked from every angle. Nothing gets through.
Lyra's hands trembled on her console, though she couldn't explain why her heart raced. Within the hour, the Sentinel achieved orbit above Aethra, its amber lights flickering to life section by section. Across the capital, citizens poured into squares, pointing telescopes at the impossible shape in their sky. Lyra Voss slipped away from the bustling command center, drawn to the dusty silence of the old archives. She accessed the oldest records, those marked classified from the human war, buried beneath layers of obfuscation.
The file on the Sentinel stops mid-sentence, pages ripped out, whole sections blacked.
The records called the Sentinel a ghost story, a trophy left adrift. The details were sanitized.
Who would redact the history of a species they claimed to have wiped out?
Then she found a sealed data crystal, glowing faintly green, its access locked behind a clearance she didn't have.
Prepare a firing solution. The moment that relic makes a threatening move, I want it erased.
Someone didn't want this found. I have to see what they hid.
Lyra spent the night in her cramped quarters, bypassing the crystal's security with a stolen decryption key.
Partial war logs, heavily blacked out. The Sentinel was built to carry something, but the manifest is missing.
Before dawn, a soft chime broke the silence. The Sentinel's communication array had come online.
Jam that transmission immediately. No signals from that relic reach the surface.
He's drowning the signal in static. But there's a pattern beneath the noise. I can almost hear it.
The weak data pulse she pulled from the filtered stream resolved into a repeating genetic pattern.
Human base pairs. A complete human genetic code. Why would they send this?
She saved the data to her personal datapad, fingers trembling with the weight of the secret.
If anyone searches my files now, I am finished.
She hid the datapad and returned to the command center, a ghost among her own people. Lyra could not resist. In the command center's chaos, she ran the human sequence against the Saelith genome database.
The database threw a partial match. Segments of human code matched Saelith regulatory sequences.
The result was undeniable. Saelith DNA contained fragments of human origin, buried deep in their genetic history.
This can't be a coincidence. We're not just similar, we're linked.
Above the capital, the Sentinel executed a precise burn, sliding into geosynchronous orbit directly over the city.
People of Aethra, the relic of our ancient enemy, now hangs above us like a blade. It means to intimidate us.
His voice echoed through every public speaker, painting the ship as a dormant weapon, ready to strike.
He's using fear to bury the truth. If they knew what I know...
Lyra looked at the terrified faces on the public feeds, then at her hidden datapad.
I have the proof that everything we've been told is a lie. But if I speak, I'll destroy us.
In a disused medbay, Lyra Voss pricked her finger and fed the blood into a sequencer.
The sequence matched. Human genetic markers in my own blood.
The screen glowed with undeniable proof. She was a descendant of the species the Imperium had sworn to hate. Meanwhile, the Sentinel's broadcast shifted to a continuous, rhythmic string of prime numbers.
It's a countdown. Activate all missile batteries. In 6 hours, we end this.
The threat was now explicit. The ancient ship would be destroyed before the day ended. Lyra, still in the medbay, heard the announcement echo through the ship's intercom.
He's going to open fire because he can't understand, and I could stop it.
She gripped the datapad, the truth now heavy enough to start a war.
But if I release this, what kind of war will it be?
She fed the genetic evidence to every major outlet from an unsecured terminal, scrubbing her origin.
Pray this buys time. Let them argue before they fire.
Within the hour, the feeds erupted. The question of human ancestry spread like fire. In the museum, the last human skeleton stood labeled extinct. Outside, Truth was already rewriting that sign.
Find the traitor. Someone in this command leaked the data. I want them in a cell.
The Sentinel's broadcast stopped. The prime numbers died mid-sequence. The ship fell silent. The crowd looked up. The silence above was heavier than any countdown.
It's watching, waiting. It knows what I've done.
Lyra returned to her station, face a mask of calm as investigators combed every log.
Keep your head down. One mistake, and they'll find you.
But the hunt had already closed. At her station, a hand fell on Lyra's shoulder. They dragged her to a bare room where Commander Orin waited, his eyes cold.
You think I don't see you? A junior analyst, suddenly obsessed with the enemy relic.
Because I found the truth you've hidden. That ship carries the proof in every Salith cell.
Lies to save a monster. The humans were annihilated. Our ancestors saw the last of them burn.
Lyra calmly placed her own sequencer results on the table between them.
Then how do I carry human DNA? Unless your annihilation was the first lie of the Imperium.
Orin stared at the data. For a long moment, his certainty cracked.
It doesn't matter. This ship is a threat, and your heresy will die with it.
But the guards exchanged glances, the seed of doubt already planted.
Take her outside. Execute her. Let her heresy die before the relic does.
Then the lights above Ithra ignited. The Sentinel's dormant arrays flared, overriding every planet-wide channel. In the command center, a holographic human face materialized, ancient, serene, eyes holding 9 millennia.
I am the Sentinel. I carry the true record of the human extinction and its survival.
Archive footage flooded the displays. Human scientists encoding DNA, seeding it into colonial populations across the stars. The guards in the interrogation room froze, their screens reflecting the undeniable proof. One guard lowered his weapon, stepping toward Lyra's restraints. Another followed.
Stand down. That is a direct order.
But the soldiers surrounded their commander, binding his wrists with magnetic cuffs. Lyra walked free, stepping outside into a night sky forever changed, the Sentinel's lights pulsing gently. No longer a threat, but a messenger. Across the capital, thousands queued at med stations, demanding their own genetic truth. In the square below the Sentinel, Lyra stepped onto a makeshift platform, raised by the crowd.
We are not your enemy. The proof is within you. Every Salith carries a thread of humanity.
We were never separate. The enemy we feared was the future we buried. Now we must choose, hold on to hate, or build something new.
But in the chaos, Commander Orin slipped his cuffs, aided by loyalist officers still sworn to the old order.
This is not over. The Imperium will not fall to genetic corruption, to arms.
The crowd wavered between hope and fear, some chanting for unity, others shrinking back.
He wants a war. I want a reckoning. but we cannot let fear infect this moment.
Orin's voice echoed from a hidden bunker, rallying the Defiant with promises of a purified Imperium. The Sentinels' lights held steady above, but the planet below now faced a new kind of war, one within. Commander Orin's loyalist fleet surged from hidden silos, their weapons locking onto the Sentinel.
Fire everything. Burn that relic from the sky before it poisons more minds.
Missile batteries erupted. The ancient hull flared with shield energy, ice vaporizing in the impact's wake.
It won't fight back. It's defenseless. They're going to destroy it. I need a shuttle. If that ship dies, the archive dies with it. I am going.
She commandeered a small courier shuttle, overriding its safety protocols as the battle intensified above.
Hold on. I am coming. You can't end like this. Not after 9,000 years.
The Sentinel's shields flickered dimmer with each hit, sections of its ancient hull glowing from absorbed plasma.
Their greed to erase us will destroy the only truth we have left.
Her shuttle clamped onto the Sentinel's hull near the bridge, the metal groaning under strain. Lyra sprinted through the dark, groaning corridors, following the faint glow of the bridge.
You have come, child of two worlds. The archive is yours to carry.
Open it. All of it. Let me send the truth straight to Aethra.
Access granted. Downloading, but the hull is failing. There is little time.
A catastrophic impact shook the ship. Consoles sparked, and the main lights died.
Core breach imminent. Initiating emergency broadcast, redirecting all power to transmission.
The bridge fell dark, but a single beam of green light lanced from the ship's core toward the planet.
It is done. The message carries all that we were. Now they will know.
Lyra stood in the failing light, whispering to the hull.
Don't let this be the end. Let them see.
The beam pierced the planet's ionosphere and flooded every open channel with a single voice.
You didn't end us. You raised us.
The loyalist guns fell silent. Crews stared at their screens, fingers frozen on triggers.
I gave you an order. Burn it. Burn the heresy.
No one fired. The silence from the fleet was louder than the volleys had been.
They hear it. The truth. It's breaking through.
We were not erased. Our genetic legacy was woven into your ancestors' blood, generation after generation.
Commander Orin's voice cracked as he screamed into a channel that no longer answered. Across the Throneworld, the broadcast sank into millions of hearts, each beat a quiet reckoning. He had been so certain, but certainty, it turned out, was the first casualty of the truth.
We engineered our genes into your first colonies. Over centuries, they spread until no pure Salith remained.
A child like that carried a secret even she didn't know. Now I see it.
The crowds across Aethra fell still, the protests dying as the weight of history pressed down.
All this time, I was the answer. Not a stain.
Lyra saw the face of a girl who had always felt like a stranger in her own skin, and understood. Commander Orin stood alone on the command deck, his reflection a stranger in the darkened glass.
I swore to protect pure blood. But if there is no pure blood, what have I done?
Lyra pressed her palm to the icy viewport, whispering to the distant light.
The war is over. It was over before it began. You are us, and we are you.
The broadcast ended. A silence deeper than space fell over the planet, and Lyra felt for the first time that she was home. One by one, the loyalist ships shut down their weapons and retreated into higher orbits. On the dying ship, Lyra stood before the central data core, the last sentinel of humanity.
Why did you wake now? After all this time?
Because you searched. You chose truth over comfort. That was the key.
Commander Orin was taken into custody by his own officers, his empire of hate collapsing. The core pulsed, and a stream of light transferred the complete human archive into her waiting device.
Now I carry them all. Every human soul, every story, every hope.
The Sentinel's final reserves faded. Its bridge went dark as Lyra clutched the archive. On Aethra's surface, Public screens lit with a new message. Archive received. The past was no longer lost. She was no longer the orphan of a lost species. She was its voice. Days later, the full archive was released. The history of humanity flooded every network, every screen. The Imperium Council, stripped of Orin and shamed by the truth, looked to Lyra for direction.
We have a choice. We can let this truth divide us, or we can forge a new identity together.
She laid out a plan, a public vote on a new constitution that honored both lineages.
If they reject this, civil war will happen anyway, but silence is no longer an option.
The council, powerless and shamed, agreed to put the question to the people. Lyra walked the streets that night, seeing fear and hope in equal measure among the faces. A child offered her a flower, a simple gesture that said more than any speech.
They planted their genes in us. Now we must plant peace.
The vote was set for a week hence. The outcome was unknown, but the question was now everyone's. Each day, shuttles ferried citizens to the Silent Sentinel. They asked questions, and the ancient mind answered.
What would you know, child of the Union?
They didn't ask us to mourn. They asked us to grow.
Identity chips were updated, acknowledging the shared heritage. The past was no longer a scar.
They're hearing the stories now of Earth, of families, of why we built this ark.
Every tale they share is another nail in my certainty. I was so sure.
The ship's AI told stories of human art, human love, human loss, and the Sailith wept.
Forgiveness isn't for the dead. It's for the living who need a future.
Even in his cell, Orin heard the broadcasts. The stories crept into his silence, refusing to let him rest. The days until the vote felt like a held breath. The galaxy was watching to see if a people could choose love over fear. The votes came in a flood. 93% chose the new constitution. The streets erupted in joy.
Today, we are no longer Sailith or human. We are one people, risen from ashes.
For the first time, Lyra Voss introduced herself to the world as a daughter of humans.
I am the proof that hatred cannot erase love. My blood is your blood.
Then the Sentinel spoke one last time, its voice soft but final.
We are not gone. We are you. Live on, children of the stars.
The ancient ship fell silent, its lights dimming to a gentle pulse. The war had finally ended.
It's over. They trusted us with their legacy, and we finally saw.
A new dawn broke over Aethra, the first day of a united species. Above, the Sentinel stayed, a silent witness. Its work was done, but its memory would never fade. After the ceremony, Lyra returned to the silent ship one last time. The air felt heavy with finality.
My power is fading. The last of my core energy will ebb within the hour.
You've done more than any ship in history. Rest now.
The AI's holographic face formed one more time, softer than ever before.
The archive is safe. Humanity lives in you. I am content.
Lyra pressed her hand to the cold console, tears falling onto the ancient metal. One by one, the amber lights along the hull dimmed, section by section. The bridge fell dark, leaving only the glow of the planet below.
Goodbye, old friend. May you dream of us.
The Sentinel became a monument, a silent sentinel forever watching over the world it saved. Lyra walked through the renewed city, seeing families celebrating their mixed heritage openly. She saw children with eyes that mirrored her own. Once hidden, now shining, a young girl ran up to her, the human glint in her gaze unmistakable.
I am just someone who found out the truth. The real heroes hid it for 9,000 years.
Behind her, screens announced the new constitution, honoring dual lineages. Celebrations filled the streets. The Sentinel above, a silent witness to the joy. That night, Lyra stood on the same balcony, watching the people she had fought for.
They would have loved this. A future where their children are free.
The first stars appeared, and among them, the dark shape of the Sentinel. She didn't feel like a leader or a hero. She felt like a daughter who had finally come home. Deep night fell over the capital. Most lights dimmed, but the sentinel remained, a motionless star above.
9,000 years of silence. And now the whole sky feels different.
The weight of it pressed on her heart, not sadness, but the gravity of a long-awaited truth. She thought of the children she had seen, eyes holding a future no one predicted.
We taught them to hate us. Instead, they became us.
The breeze carried distant music from the streets, songs of union, of remembered ancestors.
The war is over. But the real work of being one people starts tomorrow.
She stayed until the first hints of dawn touched the sky, painting the sentinel in soft amber. The ship would drift forever now, a silent monument to a species that refused to vanish. And for the first time in 9,000 years, its mission was not to survive, but to rest. The sun rose fully over the capital, and the dark shape of the sentinel drifted higher, smaller. Its final energy signature pulsed once, a faint green heartbeat, then ceased. The hull went dark. Below, the new world moved forward. The old divisions were gone. The children were already one. The sentinel's orbit decayed naturally, a slow farewell as it abandoned the hold of the Throneworld. In the great silence, the final archive transmission echoed one last time across the void. They thought they had won. Instead, they became us. The sentinel became a speck, then a memory, then a story. It had waited 9,000 years for a voice that would listen, and it found one. The screen faded to black, leaving only the echo of a message that had reshaped the galaxy